So this is my 2005 Frontier, and this is my seat. After 16 years and a few seat covers, it's just getting bad. Maybe you got one, and I mean, it's dirty. Like, let's be honest, this is a work truck, but maybe you got a seat that looks like this. This is a manual seat. You just grab it, move it around as you wish, just like that. And I like that. I like manual stuff. However, it's cold. Like, it's January here, and I just got a hankering. Does anybody say that word anymore? I got a hankering for heated seats, and I have access to a set that would fit this truck. So the question is, can I make it work? The answer is, I don't have a clue, but we're going to try it. So here's the donor vehicle, and the seat, you know, it's got a little bit of wear, but we're not seeing metal, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and try to snip this out of here. Hold it, hold it. This is, no, it's a power seat. I thought for a minute it was manual. I was all excited. All excited I was. And we might try to get those switches, but that's going to be another day. And we might try to get that seat just to have two heated seats, because I never ride over there, but it could be fun anyway. Yeah, that's the plan. A few lessons so far. Number one, I made $1.25, $1.35, $2.35. Look at the change. Okay. Number two, upon further investigating this seat, I might be able, it's a might, be able to forego the power version, which I would prefer, and just have the heated. But that's a project for another day. We'll see. And now we're trekking back to the house with our newly acquired seats. There's Lily. She's giving me a push / hitch and ride. There's Russell, who keeps being tripped by his sister and laughing about it. And we're gonna see if we can make some heated seats. Here's the two seats. We got them out of the vehicle. We got them back from the barn. This is the driver's seat, passenger seat. The passenger is the manual flavor, which is great. That's what we want. The driver is a power seat, and I don't really want power seat to edge. And I'm hoping maybe I can just swap that, although I don't know that I'm gonna be able to and make the recline work. Probably not. But maybe I can just like take the cushion. I don't know. If it's somewhat possible, I would go for a manual position heated seat on the driver's side. That's what I'd like to have. I don't know if it's possible. So that's it for today. That's it. We did the easy part. Got these out, got them in here so we could study it. We're gonna sit down and comb some wiring diagrams to see what we would have to do. And that part can be done from the comfort of a chair. So that is what we're gonna do. The next time I take this on, I'll probably have a different hat on. Still an old one, because you just can't make old hats or old friends. And maybe I'll have more information. For now, that's all. We'll get back to this video later. Also, this is how much money I made in this little venture. 1, 2, and 2 is $4.20 Canadian. There's the blue nose. Look at that. We're proud of that ship. And a guy can always use one of these. So if for no other reason, this was a fruitful venture. We made $4. This is the seat from the donor truck right here. Beside the seat from my truck right there. Manual, not heated. Electric, heated. Now the goal, I think in my mind right now, is to take all the manual garb off of this seat and install it on this one so we can have a manual heated seat. I just don't want the electric controls. I just got it in my head that I don't. However, looking at all this, that might be more work than just wiring it up to be an electric seat. It might also just be prohibitive, like it may not ever work. And the goal ultimately is to have a seat with no hole in it that you can't see metal in. So I may have to amend my expectations as time goes on, but we're gonna do a little exploratory surgery. They've both got this wire, it's the same, the truck has got the plug. And I think this is just a pressure sensor. I don't really know, I'm making this up. That says, hey, there's somebody in this seat and you need to plug your seatbelt in because it goes over to where the seatbelt plugs in. So that's my guess. So yeah, that's what we're going with. It's this one right here that this seat has going right over there. And then the rest of it is just a whole bunch of stuff that we're gonna try to figure out as we get in here. So a lot of this is just gonna be taking stuff apart, and you may or may not wanna see that. So just go ahead till we're done that part and see where we end up if you have no interest in that particular adventure. So here's what we've got going on right here. This is my old seat. We've peeled the seat cover back, taken the bottom cushion out of it. Upon exploration, this is definitely the buckle up your seatbelt clip right here we were talking about. It goes right there. You can see that. This connector, this seat over here also has. On this one, it's right here. That's the buckle up your seatbelt rig. So there you have it. This one right here appears to be going up the back of that seat. I really don't know what it's for. I know there's airbag sensors in these seats. That's got me a little bit nervous, but we're just gonna, you know, pretend we didn't know that right now. In the meantime, before I went too far, I get distracted. So I stopped taking this apart. I came over here to see if the electrical actually worked. And what we've got right here, we'll get a light so you can see it, is in this main connector, there are, count them if you can, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. There's one that's got that alligator clip hooked to it, and there's one in the frame just above it. So on the back side of that connector, the one without the alligator clip is a black wire. I'll show you that in a minute. That's your ground. And the one connected to that alligator clamp, I believe, is a white with a blue stripe. So we're gonna go in here and look. I think you can see those. They're the two closest to the top of the camera frame. The white blue stripe is your power, the black is your ground. The other ones, I presume, have something to do with the heated seats that we haven't figured out yet. So what we did is we just applied some power and started moving this seat around. The good news is everything works. Everything, all of it. And I'm excited about that. So that's about far enough for me. I'm getting hungry. So actually what I'm gonna do is go take my passenger seat out, because I know I'm gonna swap that one, because the other one from the donor truck is a fold flat seat, and I want a fold flat seat because I just think it'd be convenient a lot of the time. And I got one, and I'm 4 bolts away from employing it. So I'm gonna go do that because that's the quick win. And then I'm gonna come back and putter a little bit more at this. I think what I'm gonna end up having to do is take the wiring harnesses out of the donor vehicle to use them here, because I don't want to cut it on the back side of this right here, mainly because this seat is an identical match to the one in my grocery getter, my family rig. And if I ever need it, I'll pull it from my truck, put it in my grocery getter. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it'll be fine. So I don't want to ruin the connections for that, you know, event in case I need it for that. So I think I'll cut the wiring harnesses out of the donor vehicle and start messing with the bare wires on the other end of those and see what kind of fire we can start. That's where we're at. Figured I might as well show you what's going on here. You can see that connector. I'm coming in with my little ground here. We're gonna touch it and you should be able to hear the button click and the motor move. And there it is. Seat forward, seat back. You can't see that because I can't take the camera angle the right way. So we're gonna try to get the camera position so you can see it. And here it is again. Seat forward, seat back, a little bit of tilt, a little bit of tilt, and we know that everything works. Here's the truck without a seat. One wire. The donor vehicle had a lot more going on than that. So, yeah. I can't really afford more than, you know, part of a day without a seat. So we're going to put the electric seat in here and figure out how to just get power to it so it'll function. Not so much heat, just function for now. And then we'll continue on at a later date. Okay, so we're in the truck with the seat. I don't know if you can see my body moving, but it moves on its own power. It's not exactly wired in properly, and by not exactly, I mean not at all. And the heat doesn't work because, well, I started this project on a day that the parts stores were closed, which arguably is not a good plan. And there were a couple of things I needed for the electrical and couldn't get them. And I need a seat. So I'll show you what we've got right here. It's just an old cigarette plug that I cut off of something that didn't need it anymore. And my dash with thankfully no airbag lights. And we just wired in the positive in the ground, and we'll plug it in there for the next couple days so we can move it around if we have to, because my wife might need to use the truck for something, who knows. And hopefully won't start any fires or burn any fuses or anything like that. And, you know, it'll work until I have time to get what I need, because the heat is what I want. So we'll see if we can figure that out. And there it is, stage 1 complete. I haven't swapped that seat over there. That's still my stock seat. And I will after I'm ready to wire in the heated seats. But for now, I have a seat with a hole that is, well, it's got a little bit of hole, but we can't see metal. That's what we're going for. And it's significantly more comfortable. And it moves, so that's good. Okay, we're here in our donor vehicle. It's another day, another time. Told you I'd be wearing a different hat next time. This hat is older than me, and I like this one. But that's not the point. We're here to get these switches. That's what we're after. So we're gonna go ahead and dig in. I've made another video on how to get this console apart. So if that is, you know, of interest to you, you can check that out. Okay, so this is what we came for. These switches right here. We're just gonna try to snap them out of here. Take them back with us to some warm place to work. They don't come out real hard. There's 2 little brackets that you probably can see. One on the top, one on the bottom. Try not to break those. And there's one. That is the passenger side, so we'll put it in the passenger side cup holder. And we also want the blue one, which is the driver's side. Go ahead and get that out. Off camera. There it is, our driver's side cup holder. The other thing I may want someday, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I might come back for this whole mounting plate. Because it might do me a favor to have it. But again, another day, another time, we shall see. Now, I like to leave things pretty close to where I got them from in my donor vehicle, so this will go back here in just a minute. But we're also going to need at least these pigtails right here that go. This was the driver's side, this was the passenger side. Because I'm hoping I can use those to wire this up. I don't know for sure, but that is the hope. So we're going to go ahead and get those out of there too, and then head back somewhere warm. Okay, this is a video of the switch. I've taken it apart. This is mostly for me, so I can remember this. It's the passenger side switch, because if I'm going to break one, I want it to be that one, if it matters. And this right here, there's a little light that shines when they're on. I presume that is that little square piece you can see there is a little light bulb. This is laying the way this plugs in. And here is the switch. If this is of interest to you, it was to me. I'm going to pick this up. There's 3 connectors. That's what the switch looks like. So if you can kind of remember that, when this lays in here, when it is in the off position, that is in the center. In the center, it's maintaining contact with this strip here and this strip here on the left side, but nothing else. In the low position, it's going to have contact with this. The low position's down here, and this. And in the high position, it's going to have contact with one that you can see right there in the middle. Not this one. And this one looks to be joined all the way through. So we're going to compare these findings to a factory service manual soon. But my suspicion, knowing absolutely nothing about how this works, is that this strip on the left side is a ground,
The one in the middle carries power, and the one on the outside, I presume, powers the light. I don't really know that one for sure. Still working that out. I don't know any of it for sure, but we're gonna go try to figure that out. So the way that those correspond here, my guess is the two bottom pins that I see carry power. The two outside pins on top are ground. The two middle pins, I'm not 100% sure, but probably for that little light, so we shall see. So when I go over here, I think what it means is that orange and blue likely carry power. Black and gray might carry ground. And the green and the white, I don't really know. So now we're going to go look at the factory service manual, find out that I am completely, absolutely, and totally wrong. Okay, we're back for another round. This is my hand-scribbled drawing, basically, of what the inside of this driver's switch, I think, does. It's based on, you know, searching forums, running the multimeter, asking around, a little bit of luck and guessing, all sorts of things. I do not understand electrical, like, innately. I've had to do a lot of homework, a lot of factory service manuals, and a little bit of forums. And there was a guy out there, if you find this video, you'll know who you were. I appreciate it. You steered me the right way. So today, I'm gonna take the driver's switch and just kind of temporarily wire it in to the harness for the power heated driver's seat. Now, if I am right in all this analysis, this right here is going to go to ground. This gray right here is going to come from the gray on this, which is the 12 volts to the low. And this green right here is going to be 12 volts to the high. If we are correct, and then we'll bring power in on the white right here and out on the green and out on the gray. I don't know if you can see those colors. Black will go to ground, and the other two are actually for this light right here. They're wired into your lighting circuit. There's a light on this thing on the bottom just below the low sign, actually just above the low, you can see it there. I don't really care if that works at this moment, so we're not going to worry about that for a minute. So we're only using 3 of these wires for this particular experiment for the driver's seat. Then we're going to switch over and do it again on the passenger seat, but one at a time, right?
Okay, here's what I'm dealing with. I'm doing this in the winter because that just, you know, makes good sense. And it is like minus 26 or something outside. I don't want to be out in the truck working. I don't have a heated garage. So this is the plug for my seat and a little wiring harness that goes over to the switch. This is all the extra wire that I think I might need to route it when it's finally time to route it. But I've got enough that I'm going to run it, I swear, off auxiliary power. Now, there's a bunch of you out there screaming at your screen right now going, no! I'm going to give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? Smoke, flames. And yeah, if you're watching this, you can put in the comments, dude, you don't have a clue what you're doing. And I won't be offended. And the reason I won't be offended is because I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I just got some time. It's winter. It's a Saturday. I'm going to give it a try. I mean, it'll pop a fuse, do something funky. We'll see. Okay, we're at the truck. It's stinking cold out. This is the wiring harness that should let us test the seat. And if it works, then we just pull the temporary power source off, tap into the fuses, and blah, 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 blah. Mount the switch, all that stuff. If it doesn't, well, it's been fun. We'll go back to the drawing board. The light works. It won't dim because to do that, these two wires have to be wired in, I think, to the dash light circuit. I just don't want to do that right now. As you can see, it's just a test run. If this works, I'm either going to wire the switch in down here, or I'm going to change out this whole console for the one that's in the Pathfinder that the seat came from. We'll see how ambitious I am. But let's see if it warms up. I don't smell any smoke, so that's a good thing. Okay, it's getting dark, but I just got done my test drive, and the temporary harness works. I've got heat in the seat and nowhere that I'm not supposed to. The switch isn't warm. The auxiliary plug that's temporary isn't warm. Let's be honest, I'm gonna run it like that for at least a week. The seat moves back and forth. Check that out. I am excited. I really, really am. And if you wasted time on this video, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing, but hopefully it's just an encouragement to say you can probably do it too. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, but you should give it a try. Probably.